Guys and dolls, so my life got cut off. Don't know what it is. Could be 5G, could be Wi-Fi, could be anything. But no, just wanted to carry on, just what I was saying, and give you a heads up what I'm seeing, what's going on, in Northern Ireland. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like I say, I'm talking to guys and young men, and just blown away, absolutely blown away by the how intelligent they are and how versed they are in politics and the way forward and what they're seeing. And and it's really, really good to know that there is plenty of people awake, because we're not getting any media coverage. We're not getting any support. The Irish people had over 50,000 people out in the streets, and their local RTE news reported that there was 1,000 or something of them, or 2,000. And it's like misinformation. And you see, this is what the government say that we're misinformation. You know what I mean? I'm not. I've got the receipts. I talk factual. I don't say anything that's wrong or lies. I double check everything, triple check everything, maybe a couple of wee mistakes here and there, but that's just normal life. That's just life. It's like, it shouldn't be down to us. It shouldn't be down to me to have to go to Ireland to find out all these things, I've got a video I want to bring you. I've got a few videos. And yeah, it's trying to prioritise them and stuff like that. But this one came out today. I seen this one today, and I thought to myself, I'm going to put this one up. I'm going to show you this one. This is important, you know what I mean? Because I want you to watch this to the end to understand what I'm trying to tell you in Northern Ireland. This is going on. So see this video. See when I've told you when I was in Ireland and my TikTok went on the Ireland and it was all Irish TikToks. This is what I was seeing. Now, this is one in England. It only happened yesterday or 2 days ago. I'll tell you what, let's watch it and then let's discuss it.
Assaulted a 60-year-old woman in my local park in Hertfordshire on the 10th of April at between 1 and 2 p.m. On the same day, unbeknown to me at the time because it's only just come out in the press, same day, that day at 4:30, 4:45, I'm walking the dog and I'm throwing the chuck it ball, and I sense a bloke. It's a very big, massive park, open space. There's no need for someone to be in your personal. Anyway, he came right up behind me, and he's gone to reach over to touch my shoulder, but I've whizzed around. He said, "You now come fuck me. We go. We have sex." So I said what I said. Okay, don't need to tell you what I said to him, but it was harsh. And I told him to fuck off and leave the women in this country alone. But he was glazed. He was glazed. He wasn't on drugs or anything. He wasn't inebriated, but he wasn't there. He was glazed. He was like focused. And the way I relate, and I think I'm right, is that he was focused on finding a woman to rape. Anyway, what he did then is he ignored me and walked straight over to two young girls on a bench, two schoolgirls. So I charged at him, and I'm walking backwards with my arm in front of him to say, "Don't you dare, don't you dare." And I'm shouting back to the girls and saying, "Get your phones out, take pictures quickly." So I've got in between them. He didn't get near them. I managed to deflect. So he's walked the other way and he's walked off, but he's walked towards a children's playground. Now, can you imagine? I'm not a bloke. I've got a little dog with me. I did feel like I should have done more. I did enough, everyone's telling me, but I felt like I should have done more and followed him. Do you know what I mean? Because he was walking towards a children's playground and he could have just hurt another vulnerable woman. I didn't know at the time that he'd sexually assaulted a 60-year-old. He'd already done that day. Anyway, when I got back from holiday, that then came out. This is only 2 days ago, and I said, "Oh my God, it's the same bloke," because there's no description of him. So the media don't write, when it's Asian or it's not white, anyone not white, they don't write that. Whereas if you get someone that's white, a pedo, a robber, whatever, it's always a picture of them or they'll describe them. Whereas if it's anything other than white, they don't describe them because they're seen as racist. So, that's just how it goes. But I spoke to the police officer guys, you're not going to believe that. Well, you are going to believe this, actually, I think. I spoke to the police officer, and she said, oh my God, yes, that's him. He fits the description. Same park, same time, same location. Amazing. Can you send me those pictures? And I said, well, I can't, because the two young teenage girls, I gave them my number, but they didn't send me the pictures. And I don't know who the girls are. And I obviously didn't have my phone on me, which was a big mistake. Anyway, she said, I'm going to come and take a statement. So I'm like all geared up. I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to nail this bastard. She rings me the next morning when she's meant to actually be at my house. And she says, I'm not coming. My supervisor has said not to bother with it. Not to bother with it. So we've got a guy, he's on bail. They arrested him for that. Not for what my situation, but for the sexual assault of the woman. He was bailed, so he's out. He's out. And I'm telling you now, he barely spoke a word of English. He was fresh off a boat. You could just tell. You could tell. And it disgusts me, because I then put it onto my mum group, which has got thousands of women on it, and the admin didn't let it through. So I put it on another group, which only has like 20,000 people on it. It's not enough. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to come to TikTok. What else am I meant to do? And the park is called Verulamium Park in Hertfordshire. Okay? And if you're a woman that walks there, or a young girl, and it doesn't matter what age you are, because this dude doesn't give a shit.
Now, see if a real journalist was to do what I do, and travel about and see what I see, hear what I see, because let me tell you something, I'm seeing these TikToks and these YouTube all the time, horrific stories, eyewitness accounts, okay? How many aren't going on TikTok? How many victims don't even use TikTok or YouTube? You know, because there's not that many people actually use the internet, you know, compared to the population. How many times have the police told a victim of one of these men that there's nothing we can do about it? That's the most horrific thing you've got to understand, guys, in Northern Ireland. This is what's happening in Ireland and in England and Scotland. These men aren't even being described. You know, they're not even being, you know, we don't know. It's a male in his late 20s, early 20s, late 30s, early 30s. You know, no, you know, of maybe Pakistani descent, you know, or maybe Albanian, or maybe, you know, Afghanistani, you know, there's, you know, or even just a foreigner, you know, a non-white person. You know what I mean? It's like they just won't do it. And to me, that's protecting these men. It's protecting them from being arrested. You know, if they started putting photographs up of CCTV images of what they do whenever, years ago, it used to be like that. Years ago, whenever one of our children were just, you know what, you know, I'm trying to watch the algorithms as well, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, when we had incidents back in the day of children, anything happening to our children, whether it was one child or two child, it was all over the news, guys. It was all over the news. There would be hundreds of reporters outside the court case that'd be filming in the vans coming in, remember? You know who I'm talking about? The high-profile sex predators that we've seen in the last 20, 30 years. And how the media dealt with it. How there was documentaries and films made about it. You know what I mean? And Mara Hindley, you know. And then other two, Maxine, whatever her name is, and whoever else, you know what I mean? So, yeah, as I was saying, that's how we used to behave. That's how we used to behave as a nation. If somebody targeted any of our children, there would be all hell to pay. There would be outrage. There would be women banging on the side of the van as the van was going into the court, guys. You remember them days? Now, all of a sudden, we have men coming from other countries doing even more horrific things, the most horrific things I've ever heard of. And this is what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to bring a video every week, every day, up to Friday. And it's going to horrify you. So with that said, I'm going to love and leave yous, and because I've got loads to do still, I need to get some rest as well. But guys, in Northern Ireland, I want you to show my love, show your love, and show my love, you know, for yous, especially Bangor guys and girls. There's been men down in Bangor for the last wee while now silently protesting outside the Marine Court. They've been there for 2 years, over 2 years, in rain, snow, sleet, hail. And I'm asking you to support them this Friday. I'm going to go down to support them. Like I say, there's no, you know, I will be there. I will have a chat with anybody. If he's want to know some stuff that I can't say on the internet, if he's want to know what's really happening, if he's want to come down and speak to me, don't come down if you're a reporter. I'm not going to speak to any reporters. If you're a citizen journalist and you want to get some content, come down and I'll speak to you. I'll introduce you to the guys that are involved. Some guys that's involved in this movement for many, many years, like Sir Richard Inman. And watch the videos that are coming, and then you decide whether to come down to Bangor and stand with us, men and women, protesting against the irregular immigration and undocumented men and women that are coming into our country, and the lack of communication between the government and us about what's going on and why these people are coming in and why they're not explaining to us who they are and why they're being sneaked in at the dead of night, and what's going on in Belfast, South Belfast, Shankill and Sandy Row. How far are we going to go outside of Belfast? How long will this last for? How many of our houses are going to be bought by foreign people and then rented to the government to put migrants into? Something's not right, and we will follow the money, and we will hold you all accountable. If anything happens to our children in Northern Ireland, every single person who's taken money to house, and every single person who's taken money to accommodate these men who quite most likely will cause lots of problems, we will hold you accountable. We are not going to let what's happened in England and Ireland happen in Northern Ireland. And if you do try it, there will be consequences. Peaceful, of course, political, of course, and fully legal consequences going forward. And if not, we won't let you forget. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless every single one of you.